Sweet. Hopefully that didn't scare anybody. So what I was thinking is first off, we can do like two truths and a lie, but here are the bounds. Like we all know who you guys are. So we're going to talk about like this past week only. So two truths and a lie for stuff that has happened in this week only. So this is just to like get us like try and be as thoughtful, write these down before you go. And just like as thoughtful as possible so people kind of know like, oh, this person has had a horrible week, or like this person, okay, they're just surviving, or like we get a little glimpse of what was going on in your own personal lives this past week. So I'll go first. I have all of this planned out, but feel free to like jot down anything so that you remember, and so that you don't mess up two truths and a lie. Because when I did this with like some other people, I accidentally did three truths, which was kind of embarrassing. And so they were all like trying to guess the lie. And I was like, oh man, I actually didn't put one in. But here we go. So number one is I still have my work uniform, or I don't know what you would call it, but I have to wear this for service every single day. It's got staff on the back, but I had my face painted today, and I was Zeus, so I had lightning bolts, and I accidentally just forgot that I had face paint on. So I was wiping away all my sweat, and it all smeared, and I was like, well, this can't keep on going. So I ended up like just washing it all away at the park. The second one is I've been drinking kombucha every single day. And for people who don't know me yet, is like kombucha is basically my coffee. I drink it not because it tastes good, but because it gives me that like energy feeling. And I've been waking up pretty early this past week, so I just like take one for the road, and I just drink it down. And then my last thing is this week was the first time that my cilantro and basil little like growing plantation sprouted. So it's been like on thank you. It's been like 10 days, which is exactly the mark time on the package of seeds that it would take for them to all sprout. The basil is grown like about yay big, and then the cilantro is like tiny. So I don't really know what the deal with that one is. But my plan is to make my own pesto at some point. And then cilantro, I don't know, it's just cool to have. So that's what's been happening in my life. And thanks for joining, Aditya. We're playing two truths and a lie, but the bounds are like only what has happened for this week. So one of these, sadly, like in this collection, is a lie. I did this part right because I planned ahead. So it is now all of your turns to kind of think through and guess the lie.
Could you say the three again?
It's a teensy weensy bit hard to read your handwriting, Jeremy.
Yeah. Okay, let me go over the again. So the first one, my whole face was painted today. And then the second one is I drink kombucha every single day, and the third every single day of this week. And then the third one is my cilantro and basil sprouted.
I think I know what the lie is.
I think I know what the lie is too. Yeah.
Would you like to? I think Mila looks kind of confused here.
Can I
Well,
take a guess?
Yeah, take a guess.
Okay. I think the kombucha one is a lie.
I think so too.
Mila?
I think that your cilantro and basil was supposed to sprout today, but it hasn't sprouted yet.
Ooh,
she was not. I gave the details. I was like, yo, I'm gonna put these details in. Okay, would y'all, Josh, Aditya, Mila, any answers change? No, you're very like confident in your answers. Wow. Okay, so Josh and Aditya somehow got it right.
Dude,
I have not been drinking.
Kombucha is expensive, bro.
Dude, my whole fridge is stocked up. My mom keeps buying it, and then I'm like, I'm not like I don't remember to drink it, but she thinks I drink it every single morning because like that's what I plan on doing.
Oh damn. Okay.
But no.
Dude, yeah, kombucha. It's like really healthy, but like
You can also make it yourself too, and it's not that bad. It's just
really?
you just need a couple weeks to ferment it, and then the more bottles you have, like all those bottles that it comes in, you can just reuse to make more because those are like kombucha safe or something like that.
Do you guys watch Cody Ko? Have you seen like
Yes.
when he went into like the house of the guy who made kombucha, like the
I know
brand?
what you're talking about. Yeah, my fridge is basically like that, but there's also other food.
Dude, his face was so scary.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
All right, who's up next? Who else has 3 planned out?
I have 3.
Sweet.
Okay. My first one is that I had to play tennis from 9 to 3 today, but I got a really bad sunburn yesterday, so I had to play in long sleeves in the heat all day. Which was that was fun. And my second one is that I finished a book. I finished a book this week. It's called Six of Crows, and I finally finished it. Yes. And then my third one is, I started this Brown University course, and we had our first synchronous session on Tuesday and our second one today. And it's about global health. And I was doing some work for it earlier.
Yeah, I think the third one is definitely true. I'm a little sus about the first one, like Jeremy was saying. But
Very sus.
I can't imagine.
I feel like she crafted that pretty well because she's not showing her, her arms. So I'm gonna go with the second one.
Okay.
The second one's actually true because we were talking about Six of Crows literally the other day, right, Mila?
Yeah.
So I think the second one might be true.
Okay.
Here's where I'm at. The second one, like I think I might have been in that conversation, and I think I've seen it too. And it's
I
pretty
have the
thick,
book right here. I'm supposed to be reading it too, but I haven't.
It's pretty thick. Yeah, it's pretty.
It picks up. It picks up.
It picks up really. Actually,
Read it. Yeah.
Mm. It's
Alright,
pretty thick.
Yeah.
So that could be like it's weird. That's 50-50 for me. The last one's definitely true. The middle one's 50-50. And then the first one, first of all, I can't imagine getting sunburnt on the arms because I get it like up here. So I can't imagine getting sunburnt on the arms because I've been out in the sun the whole like 8 hours each day.
Okay, I'm going with number one.
So yeah, and then the second thing is like you ain't playing tennis for 6 hours in a long sleeve. So
I don't know. She crafted that very well. Like she said her arms. I think she said that very intentionally. That's why I think it's she was trying to sort of deceive us that way. But maybe I'm just reading into it, but
All right. So the first one is not entirely a lie. And
Hold it.
the thing is, I do have a sunburn on my arms, and you probably like won't. That's what it looks like. And I played for 3 hours in the heat in long sleeves. 3 hours.
Ooh, 3
Not
hours.
5. Okay, not 5, but it was 3, and it was painful because it was like 80, and the long sleeve shirts I have like to like actually like do physical activity in are all like meant for the for the cold weather, and so it was really bad, but I did it, and now I like need to hydrate because I probably died. But yeah, so that was the lie. I did finish a book, so it was good.
nice.
You guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I guess I can go next. My first truth. Wait, how do we? Okay, whatever. So I finally finished Naruto Shippuden after like a whole year. I started watching in January. It's like 500 episodes plus 200 from the OG, so it's like 700, but I skipped the fillers, so I'd say like 500 to 600 episodes. And I finished that show finally, thank God. Number 2, I rearranged my basement after a whole year of like since I moved. I rearranged like everything down like in the basement. So like all the gym equipment's like all nice and tidy in one place. And like all the boxes are in one corner. And number three, I started working out. So yeah.
Josh, can you repeat the first one once again, please?
Oh, I finished Naruto after like 6 months.
I'm a little suspicious of the basement one because like I believed you until you said all the boxes are in like one corner. And that's such a random detail. So now
You
I'm
know,
suspicious.
but I kind of think like he's been telling like Josh has been telling me he's been really busy. So I would assume that he was probably busy with that. And sometimes we can add extraneous details. So I think two is I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Mila. I think two is right, but I think the lie is probably the third one. He started working out just because it's Josh.
Yeah, I have something to say about the third one. I think I called him like, was it like Monday or something, maybe? But this kid has been telling me he's gonna go on this like diet plan and all of that. Hopefully I'm allowed to say this stuff, but yeah, he's gonna like do it all right. And then like one day I asked him and he's like, yeah, he hasn't started yet. So I'm not sure if he's like if all his stuff arrived and he has a motivation now to start.
Yeah.
But it definitely like the beginning of this week, I can say for sure he told me that he has not started yet. So the third one for me is like 50-50. The second one, the first one's definitely true. It's definitely true.
Okay.
The second one just seems like I don't know, there's something fishy going on there. So I'm gonna do the second one.
Oh, okay, Jeremy. I see you. I see you,
Yeah.
Jeremy.
I'm not confident enough to do the third one because I still am 50-50. I'm probably like 60-40 on the second one.
Got it.
Okay. Is that final? Mila, what do you think?
I mean, I'm also in between the basement and the working out, but I'm gonna pick basement.
Basement. Okay. All of you guys are wrong.
Oh my.
Yeah, I did not finish Naruto. I'm very close to finishing it though.
Oh man.
I got you all so hard.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you started working out. That's good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Josh. I
Yeah,
see you,
nice.
Josh.
Congrats.
I'm probably gonna stop after like 2 days. After
No,
this
no,
motivation.
no.
Like, hey.
We're gonna keep it going, all right?
Yeah, dude.
Have you been doing the diet plan as well?
A little bit. So I started cooking a little bit too, but that's been taking a lot more time. So I've been like trying to, like my breakfast is pretty simple, but then like lunch or something, I try to make something. Like it's kind of
Nice.
takes time. So
That's a big win.
All right. So, okay. So probably the first one is that I finished all my requirements for Case Western first year. All ready for that, ready to roll. Second one is that when I was biking yesterday, my chain fell down 3 times in the middle of the track. And the third one is I biked 35 miles yesterday. Which one do you think?
What was your first one?
The first one is that I got all my stuff for college ready, like my supplies, my dorm info, like all my stuff, everything ready for college, like ready to roll for Case Western.
I think the first one is a lie.
Okay.
Now, my explanation is because AP scores have not been released yet.
I'll let Jeremy and Mila think about the other one.
Because I know, like, Aditya did bike a lot. Like, it was in all of his stories yesterday, and I saw like West Virginia, I think too. So like, he definitely did bike like 30-something miles probably. And the chain is a possibility, but 3 is actually a lot. So
Yeah, I feel like 35 might be a lot. And also like I'm overanalyzing it, but you kind of like stop to think, and I'm like, what if he's making up a number? So that's my guess, but I really have no idea. So
Yeah.
I
I'll stick with the case.
The case one, okay.
Yeah.
35 is so many miles, but at the same time, it's one of those things where this dude definitely did. The middle one, like 3 times, could be true as well because I remember I was like looking at it, it's beautiful. Like, yeah, that's amazing. But the 3 times kind of makes sense because I'm just like thinking I probably saw maybe like 4 Snapchat stories. And like the first one you gotta post because like I just did, this is beautiful. And then the second 2 times it's like, oh man, my chain just broke. Let me just snap another shot. So I think I saw 4, if I remember correctly. And that just makes sense as well. But then, and the first one, I don't really know. I feel like it's kind of early for all of that. But my gut tells me because two biking things cannot both be true. I think it's the 35-mile one.
So yes, Josh. Unfortunately, you are live because your explanation was not true. That was actually true because the AP scores, like I only have to make that decision after moving day. So I don't have to make that beforehand. So that's why I said I finished all my summer requirements before then. So, and okay. I did go for 35 miles, maybe a little bit plus or minus. So that's what I did. So yeah, Jeremy, let's go. My chain actually did not fall down. I did not even break at all yesterday, which was an achievement.
Nice. I was definitely fooled. Like we all thought for sure your chain broke down. We did not have faith in your bike.
It is what it is, man. It usually breaks down at least twice or thrice, like when you try to move from like the 6th all the way to the 1st. But I was just lucky yesterday, mainly because it was asphalt, that trail, so that's why.
Got it.
Yeah, you guys should go on the Panhandle Trail. That's so beautiful, like some of those areas.
What's it called?
Panhandle Trail. It starts in like McDonald, if you know where that is, and runs all the way westward to West Virginia.
Oh wow.
No idea. But
it's a little bit south from Robinson Township, if you know where that is. A little bit south.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Sweet. All right.
Okay.
Move on to announcements. First, team announcements. Just want to announce a couple things real quick. Is Mila is joining me on the admin team as an admin coordinator. We have Aditya who is joining the operational team as the operational coordinator. We have Jonathan who is joining the operational team as a liaison. And Josh here is still making a decision. So we got those updates there for the team. And then Mila, I have you marked down for announcement.
yeah, I just wanted to announce to everybody that our COVID-19 Zoom event was a success. Dr. Young did her presentation and our Mythbusters segment was really great. And we got a pretty good turnout. A lot of people joined, before the meeting and during the meeting, which was awesome. We also recorded it and it will be posted on YouTube if it is not already done. And yeah, pretty big file. So, yeah, it went really well. So hopefully we can keep doing things like that in the future.
Definitely a big hats off. I think that was, you really prepared and planned very well for that. And it was very evident throughout.
Thank you.
Yeah, and also a big shout out to like all the questions too. So thought it was a big team win as well.
Yeah, we needed those. We definitely needed those and all those myths and stuff. So thank you.
Aditya, next up, you want to talk about a couple of things. Um, I know we talked about a lot, so I can remind you um, of anything important that I also took note of.
Sure thing. Yeah, sounds good. So I think I'll start with the first area, and that is really based on the curriculum. I think Jeremy and I have come up with a Google Doc on like people who we can send and get some validation on our curriculum, and whether they have any ideas on certain activities, certain events they can do, and we can do, and they can give us information on. So I think, one example of a really good person would be Miss Lukasiewicz, because she has a lot of experience with middle schoolers as well as teachers education too. I think she can definitely give us a pretty good and rigorous view on how we are going about structuring our curriculum, as well as any activities that can have a component. And then like we're also going to look at some subject matter experts too, who probably know really what students should be knowing and learning from our classes. So that is one area that we were looking into, and I think Jeremy has already started to send out some of the emails already. But if you have any names or anyone who you think could help us out, that would be great too. And I think the second one I wanted to talk about is about the actual curriculum in general. So Jeremy and I will be creating a template that you guys can use to really restructure the curriculum and make it a lot more accessible and implementable towards the students. And I think, Jeremy and I really thought that the best way to go about that is to set like literally one-on-one work times with each one of you guys, and for about like 30 minutes, and just really drive through that curriculum and restructure that a little bit. So I think that's what I had to say about the curriculum. So is there anything else you'd like to add, Jeremy?
Yeah, all good. You can you can also talk about the scheduling like at the very end, but there is going to be like some sort of Monday meeting that will also come into play, just so that we can like revise and stuff like that, but we'll cover that a bit later.
Sure.
So next up, here's an organizational update. So I wanted to give this and maybe even like direct people to it, people who aren't here to it, because there's a lot of questions on like where we are as an org and like what we're doing. So there's a couple big milestones that are still coming up, and they'll show up this summer. So the first one is we're gonna try and get like a piloting program started at the beginning of August. And that's something that it'll take a while to set up, but it's pretty much like we're directly on track. So it's looking really good to start August piloting. And that's like legitimately teaching people and like doing stuff. So we are on track. And Aditya is like, he's about to work his butt off, and he is already working his butt off to make that happen. And he's like suffering through a lot of emotional stress as well. So feel free to like give him mental health check-ins at any point. But
emotional stress. Wait, what up, Jeremy?
Emotional stress. You're probably gonna go through a bunch of stress going through.
Yeah. My man, love it.
So that's happening. And then on the flip side of things is, because that is happening, there will be a step up in like social media presence, even though we have not found a relations coordinator yet, which just means the admin team will pick up the slack. But we're gonna try and like set up everything, because it all needs to be up there while the like piloting program is going off, because we're kind of getting into legit things now. And so with that becomes the social media presence, finding all these different connections, making sure we all have funding and adequate compensation as well. And then also making sure that we have the ability to like do stuff. And that might come in the form of like 501c3 status, and like bylaws, and maybe, even like reaching out to a bunch of professionals that could join the board. So like all of these things are pretty much on standby, and they're gonna be like right there, right around the corner, and we're gonna work towards. So we're basically still setting up like our meet, but pretty much this summer we're gonna have a fully functional working meet of the organization that we're gonna actually utilize. So at that point, I would definitely say that we're like legit. So that's kind of where we are. Do we have any questions about that? It I don't know if it does that sound like a lot? Like to me, it sounds like a whole lot. Does that sound like a lot? Does that sound like really easy to anybody? Because it might.
I don't think it sounds easy. I think it sounds like a lot, but it doesn't sound unmanageable, I don't think.
I agree.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, wow, no reactions at all. Like, I wonder if anybody thinks this is like easy to accomplish. Because it could be. Like, you never know. Maybe we hit like 3 professionals that are like, yo, let me give you money and let me give you advice and let me give you everything that you need. And that might happen too. So you never know. And then the next thing we're gonna talk about, super fun, is send out a when to meet. And apparently Saturday doesn't work because these seniors have graduation. So that doesn't work anymore. And so we should probably think about like what can work and where we want to go to. Any thoughts?
Wait, what do you mean by graduation? Like, didn't that already happen?
There's like a graduation party. That's what I meant. I think that's what he meant.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm lost. Okay.
So
well, yeah.
yeah, go on. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was just like thinking. I don't have anything.
All right. So I think the only response that we haven't gotten from it's Josh, but it looks like 1:30 is a good time where maybe all 5 of us could potentially meet. So Josh, how are you thinking about 1:30? I think last time when we talked, you said that's something that could potentially work.
Yeah. Afternoon. Okay, that's the Wednesday meet. Yeah, I'll fill that out probably tonight. But I think afternoon is always like the best move for me. And I don't think we have anything going on Sunday, but I can double check because sometimes my mom loves throwing in like stuff for me to do like in the middle of the day. So yeah.
Good catch.
Yeah.
Good catch.
It's
Yeah.
also 8 p.m. So I'm gonna unfortunately have to head out. So yeah, see you guys.
See you later, Josh. So I think we wanted to know like what venue were we thinking about? I think we talked about Burgatory and maybe like a milkshake factory dessert type of deal afterwards, but how are we feeling on that still?
I'm down. So on the when to meet Aditya, it
Yeah.
says you're not available at 2 p.m. Has that changed? Like, is that flexible?
Can you just give me like 5 seconds? I just need to pull up my calendar.
Got it.
Why would 2 o'clock PM work a little bit better?
No, I figured like right now there's only half an hour where all of us are free. And that's pretty much not enough time to do anything. Because like
I think what I meant to say was what I meant to say was that's the start time that I can do. So I know we'll probably plan this for about an hour and 30 minutes max. So beyond, I have to be somewhere at 4 o'clock, so that's why I said, look, if you start at 2 o'clock, it might be a little capped up that time slot. That's why.
Got it. Okay, yeah, 1:30 is great then.
I think it should be okay for me. I filled it out and I don't foresee anything coming up. So
yeah, I'm good too. Yeah, I'd be down to go to any of those places.
Bet. Yeah, I went to Burgatory last week and I think it was a pretty good experience, and Milkshake Factory like afterwards really hit the spot. So if we were thinking about like a nice mix that way, we could totally do that.
Bro, you already went. This was supposed to be your first time going with us.
You know what? That's the first time going with you guys. Okay, I had that Impossible Burger last time and it was pretty lit, but this time I'm looking forward to having some actual beef.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair then.
Just an FYI, I cannot eat beef on Mondays. That's a thing for me. So and the day we met was on a Monday. That's what.
Got it. Yeah, then I guess Burgatory is still a good option because you'll be exploring like I would probably say the better options at Burgatory, but we'll see.
There's also chicken.
Hey, I'll send the address into
Jeremy, I think the best place is probably, I would say, the one in McCandless.
Yeah.
I think that's accessible for Josh right off of 279, as well as for me too.
Yeah, dude, I did not realize he lived so freaking far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My mom works in Cal U, which is like 15 minutes away from there, and like it's legit about an hour and 15 minutes drive from Sewickley.
Wow.
Insane. Okay, sweet. We made it past that step. Now, the last step is to create a schedule, and we're gonna look at the schedule again.
Great.
Oh yeah. So this is also a note to Aditya. So here's what Mila and I are doing with operational stuff. So we both are now like operational people. So we both will be like leading meetings and like doing all the things that I initially set as a description. Like both of us are gonna do that. But the way we're kind of gonna split it all up, because we thought that this would be like the most efficient way to do tasks, is to have some sort of like task to-do list that is a collective bank of just like things that need to get done at some point. And then we'll just split up those tasks like by the task. So it won't be like I'll do half of this and then you can do half of that. It'll be like I'll just do the whole task and then you do the whole task for this. So depending on what you think is good, that's like what we do. So you and Jonathan can kind of figure out some sort of thing, but that might be a good starting place. And then the other sort of way we could split things up that we brainstormed was like splitting up the task and doing like this task, but both of us are on it. And like we thought that was a good one as well, but it just wasn't efficient, and it might, I don't know, for us, it might like scheduling might also be a difficulty, and we just thought like our method right now is a little bit better, but that's sort of a good like segment to also cover. So last week, here's what we put down. Operational side, decide which professionals to proofread our curriculum and also revise the curriculum and comb through like problem scenarios. Okay, I can give the status report, or Aditya, would you like to do that?
I think with the curriculum as it is right now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think the curriculum is at a state where with our senior project, Josh and I did a good majority of the heavy lifting, especially with regards to a general layout, a time schedule, as well as topics to cover. I think really what is there needed to be done in the curriculum is to make it more accessible to students and also our volunteer student teachers as well. And I think Jeremy and I were planning on to create a template that you guys could use to kind of structure certain parts of the curriculum a little bit more efficiently. And I think once that is over with, we can kind of say we're done with the curriculum. And in that meantime, while we are trying to restructure the curriculum, we're also meeting with professionals to get more ideas and get some more validity affirmation on our topics and what we're going to cover too.
Yeah, and we also kind of like thought about like what happened on Monday, like it was late, but at the same time we thought about it and it's like students are probably not the best people to ask and brainstorm like how to teach effectively these scenarios because we just don't know a lot. So what we thought is professionals could be like a really good way to just brainstorm initial ideas on how to teach certain topics and all these problem scenarios because they've seen so many of them, right? So we are like, okay, that's probably more effective. So that's what next week's kind of task is just to reach out to all these professionals about that. And then we thought what students were really good at is like looking through a problem scenario. So let's say we have one on the curric, we can just like look through it and be like, am I interested? And so we're like, that's probably a more effective way to use our own time. So that is also coming in. And then to give an update on the admin stuff. So getting the team situated and running through all the check-ins, I have done all of it except for Zach. And he's told me that like this week, I think they're like doing a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm still waiting for Zach. And obviously Josh is still like messing around with his idea. And then also typing up an email to Hopkins professors. I have done that and I will be sending out initial emails to everybody today. So next week, for me, I had email 25 Hopkins professors. I'm going to add to that, like finish up like team stuff.
Got it.
And I think Mila wanted to add funding.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'll look up some stuff about like grants and funding and things like that.
And then I'm also going to add, and this might start to get ambitious, but because this will like be a lot of weight, like both of these are going to be a lot of waiting. So I'm also going to add, I will be making for the relations team, because we're gonna pick up that slack, is be making a like media calendar or a content calendar for the month of July. So when that loads in, that's what that will say. Sorry, and Aditya, here's what we had last week going in. Would you like to add anything to it?
I think, Jeremy and I had a pretty clear plan ahead on what's going to go on in the month of July, because preferably by the end of the month, we want to make sure we can implement those classes. And I think as, part of the admin team, my job is to make sure that that curriculum is all ready and set up to go. So I think as long as we can get that done by then, that's cool. And I think Jeremy and I also wanted to emphasize that, we feel like we actually work very optimal when we're meeting either one-on-one or in very small groups. I think if we meet like as a team, like as a whole, I feel like our productivity tends to go down a little bit. And I think it might just be maybe just because maybe just a little bit of a reluctance to occasionally share ideas or that line of thinking too, which is totally normal. And I think what we're thinking about is checking in with you guys every now and then about the curriculum and really trying to make sure that your ideas, your voice is heard and implemented effectively too.
Yeah, and then I also want to remind, I don't know if you want to do that for this week / next week, but setting up like you revise this part of the curriculum or this part of the course agenda. You still want to do that this week or next week?
I think, sorry, so I think this week is coming to an end where you're talking about like on Friday, Saturday.
No, I'm talking about like from this Thursday to next Thursday.
I think that's a time when I can. Sorry, I think I was cutting out a little bit. I think that's a time when I can be the most optimal, just because I'll be traveling next Friday onwards for about a week. For about a week, I'll be in Dubai, so I can actually, have a bit of a vacation. I think once I head over to India with the lockdown situation, all that, I'll probably mostly be at home with my grandparents. So then I can definitely definitely be able to manage this a little bit more effectively. So I think maybe a good idea, at least just for my sake, is to maximum productivity, at least on my side next week.
Okay, cool. Does that involve setting up like you and you do this and revise this part of the course agenda? Does that involve that?
I think, yeah, definitely starting cycle. And I think, Jeremy, before I'm able to meet up with students, I also want to get that template ready too, so they can get a little bit of a better idea on what to go off of.
Okay, perfect. And apologies, this is not loading in, but I have it all written up in green. And like that's all not loading in either. But okay, for next week, you're pretty much gonna be on vacation. So I'll go like check in individually about Karik. So you can do that like at any time. I have that written down for this too. Oh, there it is. I have that written down for this too, if you want to do that during this time as well.
Okay.
But you can like just filter in the people that you missed, or like start that this week as well, or like just take a break. Mila, do you have any like thoughts on what we want to get done this like in 2 weeks?
I haven't thought that far ahead, but if we're doing reaching out this week to Hopkins professors and doing funding, I honestly would like to focus more on like social media and getting other people involved in like, or spreading the message out almost. So that's been like on my mind lately. Maybe something to do with reaching more people about our message and like social media stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have for social media, like creating a content calendar. So maybe this time it's like check with like the rest of the team, check with team about the calendar, and plus like just get going. And then find more cores. Funding, we'll probably like have a list. You think like having a list, a spreadsheet? I started one actually on a Care for Them Google Sheets, so you can like just use that one. So I guess finding that and maybe even start applying potentially, or start writing like our value prop and like what makes Care for Them, because we've changed mission so much that we got to keep editing our value proposition and like all of that. So that might be helpful, is starting to apply plus brainstorm like why we exist, like what makes us important.
Okay.
Okay, sweet. How does this look, Aditya? Would you want to add anything to these two?
Let me take a quick look. I'm starting to apply and brainstorm. Exist. Yeah, I think that's definitely a good transition into potential sources of fundings as well as opportunities. And as well as if you have a relations team, we would want to keep that pretty minimal. just because we don't have one at the moment. But yeah, I think that's good. That's sufficient.
Got it. Sweet. Thanks for coming to the meeting.